Plato, in the Stoics' view, is not just unhappy, he's miserable. But he's not just miserable, he's as miserable as Hitler. Plato is as miserable as Hitler because Plato is as vicious as Hitler. Again, this is just the Stoic view. There's no critique here, I'm just relaying the view. All right, okay, that's pretty crazy, but I guess what that means then is that I just have to work really hard, right? I just gotta work really hard, be a sage, and then I'll be happy. How many sages have there been? The entire human history. I want to know my odds. 0. And in human history, there's been 0 sages. Okay. So therefore, everyone who has ever lived, no matter what they did, including the greats, Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, have failed equally, and that's the key term that really bothers me, equally at living the good life. Now, I gotta be fair to the Stoics. They talk often a lot about progress. There is a notion of progress. In fact, the components of Stoic happiness, contentment, joy, affirmation, these things do come in degrees, even if happiness itself doesn't. So the Stoics are fully willing to say, okay, I don't want to make this too ridiculous. The Stoics are fully willing to say, Plato has progressed more towards virtue, and therefore he is more contented, affirming, and joyful than Hitler. They will say that. But again, like I just said, they refuse to say the happy point, okay? They mean it when they say it, that Plato is as miserable as Hitler. And here's a Stoic metaphor relayed to us from Cicero to really get the point across. When submerged in water, one can no more breathe if one is just below the surface and on the verge of getting out than one can in the depths. In the same way, one who has made some progress towards the acquisition of virtue is just as unhappy as one who has made no progress at all. Okay, this is supposed to be a metaphor about how the Stoics conceive of happiness, and think about what that implies. When you're drowning, it doesn't matter if you drown a millimeter below the surface or in the depths of the ocean. The only thing you care about, for all intents and purposes, is can you breathe? That is what happiness is supposed to represent for the Stoics. If you have this, life is worth living. If you don't, it's not. Happiness is supposed to be this all-encompassing goal that's supposed to capture everything about a life that is well-lived and worth living. And what they're saying is, you can progress, okay? You can increase in the components of happiness all you want. You can progress along your path to virtue all you want. But in the same way, until you rise to the surface, you don't have the one thing that you're trying to get, the one thing that really matters for life. It doesn't matter how much you progress until you hit the surface, okay? For all intents and purposes, you drown in the exact same way that Hitler drowns. Because both of you failed equally at getting the one thing that matters. Neither of you guys are breathing, okay? If you're wondering why they say this, this will be more clear when we talk about their equally bizarre view of human nature.